the Scotch College Senior School. Massive, intimidating, scary. On my first day as a Year 8 student, with these thoughts floating through my head and feeling about this big, I couldn't have even imagined wearing the striped blazer that I do today. Now 4 years down the track, and thankfully far more comfortable in my surroundings, there's no doubt that there have been a number of people who have influenced my life. But there's definitely one person who has stood out from the rest. Matt Kelly, school captain in 2012. He was a person who I wanted to emulate. We played the same sports, and the things that I saw in him were the things that I wanted to embody in myself. Upon reflection, however, whilst having someone to look up to is great, becoming completely consumed with the idea of becoming that person might not be the best thing to do. Because in doing so, you lose the things that make you special, what defines you and what makes you your own person. No matter what, you should never have to hide that. No matter what, you should never have to completely change who you are. It is this idea of embracing who you are and striving to be a better you that this speech will focus on. Be a better version of yourself, not a different version of someone else.
Role model. A person looked up to by others as an example to be imitated. This is exactly what Matt Kelly was for Matt, an example to be imitated. However, having a role model is not about imitation. Aspiring after a role model is about using them to help find out about who you are as a person.
Growing up, Maria Sharapova, one of the best tennis players in the world, was constantly compared to another female Russian player, Anna Kournikova.
And while Kournikova was a role model, Sharapova knew from when she was a teenager that she didn't want to be the next anyone else. She wanted to be the first Maria Sharapova.
She wanted to create her own path, and that's what we all have to do as we grow up. Don't try to be anyone else and follow exactly in their footsteps. Be your own person and create your own path.
However, boys, this isn't the easiest thing to do. It's not going to happen overnight. It's a process that requires you to have the confidence in yourself and the confidence to be your own person. For me, this process began in Year 8 when I was lifted out of my comfort zone in Broome and put into boarding at Scotch. To be suddenly living with 32 boys that you didn't know was a massively different experience for me. However, my confidence developed as I shifted to Cameron in Year 9 and has continued to grow to the point that it's at today. And trust me when I say this, boys, a massive chunk of that confidence that I've gained in the last few years is being used right now just to stand here and speak to you today. It's certainly a position that I never imagined possible, sitting in the same seats that you are right now as a Year 8. But I promise you, it is possible. All it requires is a bit of self-belief, a few well-chosen role models, and you'll find that your confidence will grow immensely as you get older. For me, the few role models that I had to gain my confidence were my parents. I don't think you can go past them in terms of the influence that they have on your life, and having them around every day from Year 9 onwards has certainly helped me. But it's also people like Mr. Williams in the Year 8 house that can have a big impact. Despite initially seeming like one of the scariest people I'd ever met, with his tats and his extreme love of shouting at us, he's actually helped me gain my confidence and has helped me through some tougher times.
Both Bailey and I think that one of the most important things in gaining that confidence within yourself is coming to the realisation that you don't need to conform and follow the trend. We're brought up in a world where often we're encouraged to be similar. We go to school, wear the uniform, get a good ATAR and go to university. But sometimes it's not about following this method of success. It's about celebrating differences. And often it's those people that are different and embrace those differences that are the best people and the ones that I have the most respect for.
Out of the newly released movie Imitation Game, which is essentially about accepting and celebrating differences, came a great quote. It's often those that no one imagines anything of that do the things that no one else can imagine.
And that's our message to you boys here today. It's those people that don't conform, that might be considered a little bit left of field, that go on to be the most amazing people and do the things that no one can even dream of doing.
In the same breath, it's these people that see the world slightly differently, that do things differently, that I find are the most authentic, genuine and funny people that I've ever met. It's these people that command respect, and it's these people who in later life find themselves the most fulfilled.
We'd now like you to watch these 2 short clips from the film Dinner for Schmucks.
Dinner for Schmucks is essentially a movie in which a group of business people invite a bunch of weirdos over to dinner just to make fun of them.
Thanks. Thank you. Tim, you're a good friend.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
I'm not. Barry, this dinner isn't what you think it is.
What?
We invited all of you here to make fun of you.
So you invite a bunch of incredibly talented people to dinner and you make fun of them?
No. It's a dinner for idiots.
Well, you better go find some idiots.
You do. I'm sorry.
He is amazing.
I thought you did such a great job.
You are the winner?
I am, yeah.
Whatever.
And he deserves a hell of a lot better than this. They all do.
What do you mean, exactly? Any one of you would throw me under the bus for a bigger bonus, and Barry would throw himself in front of a car to save a mouse.
From these 2 clips, boys, there's 2 characters that we'd like to focus on.
Lance Fender.
The big kahuna. Conceited. Fake. Someone who's made a living out of stabbing his friends in the back just to get ahead.
Yes, he's had success, but the real question is, at what cost?
And then there's Barry.
Sure, Barry has his flaws, but he stands by what he believes in, and he stands by his friends. He's authentic, he's genuine, and he knows who he is.
When Barry says you invite all these incredibly talented people over to dinner just to make fun of them, he surmises exactly how little sense it makes to celebrate normality and try and hide what makes each and every one of you special. Because that's what these people are. Incredible.
Yes, they may have their quirks, but it's these combined traits that make them who they are. It's these traits that make them such amazing people.
So, what are we trying to say here? Are we saying that all conformity is terrible and that we should just revert to doing whatever we want?
Not quite. All communities, and our own included, require a certain level of conformity and rule following in order to work properly. But it's the individuals that do things slightly differently that are often the ones that drive societal innovation and change.
But they don't do things because they don't care about their society or because they're trying to be different. Often, they do these things because they care about their society. It's not about not caring. It's not about deliberately trying to change who you are just to look indie in front of your mates. It's about embracing who you are.
It's the things that distinguish you from the person sitting next to you today that are the things that you must embrace. Don't try to hide or suppress these things just to fit in with your peers. If they can't accept you for you, then they're not your mate. Don't be a different version of someone else.
Be a better version of yourself.